VanillaMace was robbed and rinsed by a doctor, and I want to talk about it because I actually have some experience with this. So I was scrolling on X last night, and I saw this post. VanillaMace has a mental breakdown regarding healthcare in America. Obviously, she doesn't have a mental breakdown. That's a little extreme, and the comments will tell you that. But I did watch it, and I had this to say. This isn't normal at all. I haven't had insurance for the last 10 years. I've gotten blood work multiple times, and it's never been more than $150. She's being rinsed by this facility. So I'm kind of burying the lead a little bit here, but let's get into it and break down what's going on and my thoughts on it.
So this is just how amazing our healthcare is in America, right? So I called my insurance and I said, hey, I want to switch my primary. And I was like, can I get another primary that's closer? Like, I don't want to be driving all over the damn place, whatever.
Okay, let me skip ahead a tiny bit because she switches her primary. They give her a doctor that's not even in the network anymore. And then she needs to go to a new doctor. So they're setting that up. But in the meantime, she sets up an appointment with a doctor with another doctor.
Fucking midst of this bullshit, I go on ZocDoc and I schedule myself a next day appointment with a random gyno, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll pay out of pocket. I'm blessed enough to be able to, like, if I had to pay out of pocket for something, I could pay out of pocket for something, right? I'm like, okay, great. There's no prices or anything, but I'm like, how much could it be? It can't be that crazy, right?
That's where I'll pause really quick. First, it is actually kind of scary going to the doctor without insurance and not knowing how much anything is. But in my experience, and I've never been to a gynecologist, but I have been to a specialty surgeon, which I'll get into later in the video. So other than the specialty surgeon, it's never been that much money, which I'm really stoked about. And I think that's something to think about. I'm not encouraging going through life without insurance, because there is always the 1 to 2-ish% chance that something horrible is going to happen and it's going to totally fuck up your bankroll forever. But also you have to consider how much is insurance to how much I'm getting out of the insurance. And to give you an idea, I just went insurance shopping this year because I'm getting older. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like every year you're kind of rolling the dice to see if this is a good idea or not. Insurance was $400 to $500 a month. And I don't need to go to the doctor, usually. That's a lot of money to just piss away on nothing. Especially if you're a dude and you do not have to go to a gynecologist.
Right? I go in, I fill out all the stuff. They're like, okay, so her fee, just to be seen, it's $700.
So this is the first red flag. And I also have a tip for VanillaMace and anybody in the future on this. I have been to regular doctors in the last few years. I think the lowest I've walked out of an appointment for was $140. $144, let's be real. It was $144. The most expensive just visit with a doctor was a surgeon. I went to 2 surgeons. One was a regular surgeon. The cost was something like $200. Then I went to a specialty surgeon who does one area of the body. Specialty, best in his field of surgeons, I guess, in that area, whatever. The cost was $300.
It was like $700, and they were like, yeah, but we can give you a discount. So they gave me like 20% off or something.
So the discount, that is the other part of this. When I went to that surgeon, and it's what opened my eyes to how shit healthcare is in America. When I went to that specialty surgeon, and all these doctors know I don't have insurance, obviously, because they'll ask, and I'm like, I don't have insurance. But when I went to the surgeon, all throughout the process, he had the same receptionist, assistant, whatever, doing the whole thing throughout the month or 2 I was working with them. Every single time I talked to her, she would remind me like, oh, make sure to tell so-and-so you don't have insurance because it will cost you 50% less every time. Oh, it's 50% discount if you don't have insurance. Oh, it's 50% if you don't have insurance. Like, make sure you tell X, Y, and Z you don't have insurance, so the cost will be half for everything. For the visits, for the surgery, for anesthesia, everything. 50% off.
Some bulls. I don't fucking know. I said, fucking, I'm already here. I said, okay, charge a card. And they said, if you want to do a vaginal ultrasound, which I did want to do the vaginal ultrasound. It's another $250. Okay, throw the ultrasound on there. Then they.
That is the only one. Again, you know, I don't have a vagina, and I've never dealt with vagina stuff. Like, I've never had to pay a bill for someone that has a vagina that got a vaginal ultrasound. 250, that's the only part of this where I'm like, that makes sense. Like, without knowing shit, that one makes sense.
Said, they were like, yeah, to send out the blood work to send it to the lab, it's probably going to be whatever the price of the blood work is, and then an extra like $40 to send it to the lab.
The $40 makes sense as well.
So I'm thinking, okay, if it's only $40 to send the blood work to the lab and it's only $250 for an ultrasound, the blood work isn't going to be that crazy, right? So then they bring back in the nurse. She comes in and she's like a young hoe. Like she got her lash extensions, like she's like the lip fill, like she's tea. She's like, yeah, so she's like, it's gonna be $1,500 for the blood work. I said, oh my God.
This is the part, obviously, in my reply, this is what I was referring to. There is no fucking way the blood work is $1,500. I would love to be proved wrong that the actual cost of the blood work was $1,500. And I'm not saying VanillaMace is lying at all. I believe that she was fucking robbed. I believe she was robbed. 1,000%. I would love to know who's doing the robbing, though. And I know who it is. We've already talked about it. It's the fucking doctors. It's the doctor's office. The doctor's office is charging 2x the amount at a minimum for everything. And I will go a step further. I think that where she's going, they're doing some like 4x shit. And I think that she is in Southern California, so that kind of makes sense. It's like the land of fucking robbing people. So this got my blood boiling. This got my blood boiling, dude. Doctors are actually probably the problem with the healthcare system and how much everything costs. I'll say it again. Doctors are probably the problem, and I'm purely going off of my experience with what I've dealt with and what I've been told is that the doctor's office is going to make sure I get charged half as much as they normally charge since I don't have insurance. Now, we can zoom out a little bit and say, okay, let's say the doctor's visit is $100. That's how much I've been charged, right? $144. Let's round it up to $150 and make this easy. The doctor's visit that I paid for multiple times is $150. So, are you telling me that if I had an insurance card, it is costing the doctor's office $150 to contact that insurance and have them pay for it? If so, how much are you paying the fucking receptionist? Because there's no way, let's say the receptionist makes $50 an hour, which seems kind of high, but let's just say they do. Does it take 3 human hours to process insurance? Then if it doesn't, then why are you charging the insurance company $150? You know what I'm saying? You get the trickle down here? Now, on the topic of the blood work, I have gotten blood work 3 times in the last 3.5, 4 years. 2 of the times was purely voluntary health checkups. I was curious about how healthy I was. You might be surprised, but I am incredibly healthy, and they checked for everything in the blood work. They told me I have an incredibly low chance of getting heart disease. It would be almost impossible for me to get diabetes, and I bring that up because VanillaMace is about to bring that up. And so, and they check everything. I've seen the sheet. There's like 20, 30, 50 things on this sheet that they look for in the blood work. So it's not like I got shitty blood work that looked for one thing. So when I got blood work the last time, the full bill, which included, I imagine, that 144 for the doctor's visit, was $250. So it cost $106 for blood work. That's my simple math here. And if it was $40 to send it out, which I don't think it was, now I'm wondering maybe it's only $10 if we're doing a 4x math on wherever VanillaMace went. Either way, it was $100 to send out and get the blood work back.
Baby, charge it to the game. And mind you, this is normal in America. This is very normal. If I were to go
Again, it's not normal.
into an urgent care tomorrow and ask for blood work, I would get charged like $2,000.
And I will say, because I don't have insurance, and now this is a little tough, but where I go to see my doctor, I just go to the same guy every time. He works in a half doctor's office, half urgent care. And all I do the first time is I called this place and I was like, hey, I need a doctor. I'm curious about how healthy I am, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, bet, come on in. It is technically an urgent care. That being said, I didn't go in there saying it's urgent. I did make an appointment, but I'm getting cheap pricing on all the doctor's visits, and I will include that. I will include the surgeon. I mean, $300 to visit a specialty surgeon seems pretty inexpensive to me.
Right? Without insurance, these are the prices that people it's fucking crazy. So then I go in. She's like, okay, so what are your concerns? So I tell her, I'm like, so I got some blood work done. It says I'm pre-diabetic. I kind of, I really don't eat that bad. Like I'm relatively active. Like, so then she's like, okay. She's like, so what'd you got who prescribed this blood work? Like, who sent you to this blood work? I said, oh, I just got the blood work. I ordered the lab myself on Quest because you can do that. So she's like, but who ordered it? I'm like, I did. She's like, you can do that? I'm like, girl, how are you a doctor? You don't know that you could just order your own blood? I was like,
I'll say too, doctors are kind of goofy. The guy that I went to, that specialty surgeon, before I knew how much the surgery was going to be, and I should actually mention that, how much the surgery was, because although, I mean, she just said like blood work would cost $2,000 in an urgent care. Here's how much a surgery, and I guess, do I talk about what the surgery was? Probably should, because it will come with a warning for my homies out there. I had a fistula. I think that's how you say it. Sorry if this is TMI, I'll make it quick. It's a small tear in your anal tubing. It's from being dehydrated, a smoker, and not having enough fiber. And so I had a small tear there. Could have turned into a really bad thing. Don't need to go into the details. But essentially the surgery was going to go up my butt, close that hole, and that's it. So it would have been a quick surgery, in and out of the room in less than an hour. And it required me to go under anesthesia. There was at least 2 nurses that I remember in there when I went into the room, and then the doctor. It was not an overnight doctor or hospital visit. I went in, I think, at 8, and I was out of the hospital by 11. Took up 1 bed, obviously, all that. The whole cost of the entire visit for everything, not including the initial visit from like a month before, was $2,600. So blood work at an urgent care, No. Blood work at an emergency room, maybe, but there's a lot more going on there. And I haven't had, luckily, knocking on wood there, luckily, have not had to deal with emergency room visits ever since I was like a young child. Um, and hopefully never will. But that's where costs can get fucking crazy. But I'm also curious if you're going in there somewhat conscious and you're telling the people, hey, bitch, I don't have insurance. Do not do anything that you do not need to do. And for the love of God, I don't have insurance. Please give me whatever discount you give. Ah.
Yeah, you can do that. And she was like, okay, well, let me see it. So I show her.
Oh, and the whole point was doctors don't know shit, dude. I asked one of the surgeons because I had to meet with two. It had to be the second one that I actually used. I asked him how much it was going to cost. He cut me off and he's like, I don't know. I have no idea how much we charge you people. I don't want to know. I just want to do my work and not think about the cost.
I'm showing her the results. And she's like, okay. She's like, yeah, okay. So then she's like, okay, so what are your concerns with the PCOS? And I'm just like, well, the weight, and I want to lose the weight so I could reverse the prediabetes and the fatty liver and all this bullshit and whatever. So then she's like, well, this is immediately the first thing she said. She's like, well, you know what you can do? You can do the GLP-1. Girl, why is that the first? I'm like, dang.
GLP-1, I'm pretty sure that is like Ozempic type shit. Yeah, okay. It's basically like that Ozempic type shit.
I'm like, Dan, can we get how about hi, how are you? My name is shit. The GLP-1s are very beneficial for a lot of people, right? But I'm just like, Dan, why is that the first option? Shit. And I was like,
I'll say this too. You want to know why it's the first option, and also why when I went in for the surgery, the doctor basically told me there's nothing I could do about it, which this is goofy shit. Okay. What happened was met with that surgeon, and it was a month later that I was going to go get the surgery, and shit was happening down there. And when I met with the surgeon, I asked, is there anything I can do to make this a better process or to fix it without surgery? And he was basically like, no. Turns out there is. Drink water, eat food with fiber. That's it. And also, what is it? I also started taking magnesium glyciate because it makes stool softer, so it's easier to pass through you. And that actually did fix it. So, although I went through every single step to get the surgery and I was charged the full amount of the surgery, no surgery actually did happen. It was basically like pretend time for everybody, including me, which sucks because now I'm out $2,600. But either way, I did fix my issue through basic work, but I think that doctors don't trust anybody to actually do that. And I don't think it's like malicious and they're like, listen, I can tell him to do X, Y, and Z to fix his issue, but then I can't charge him $2,600, whatever. I don't think it's that. I think it's genuinely like they want to help and make sure that their patients are fixed, but they don't trust them to go through. They don't trust them to actually go through the work to make it work. So VanillaMace getting suggested the easy way out immediately. It's unfortunate, but I do get why a doctor would do that.
Bitch, I tried that shit one time. Don't make me go back there. Don't make me go back there.
And that's it. So I did not have this experience that she had. All my shit's been way cheaper than she was mentioning. But my hacks for it are this: make sure to be upfront and tell everybody I don't have insurance. Give me that discount. I don't have insurance. She should have fucking lied to the second doctor's place and said that she didn't have insurance. I doubt that she did that. I imagine she gave them her insurance or said she had it or something, so they just charged her that full clip. And that's it.